Now in this section we'll see the routing configuration using RIP version 2 over DMVPN phase 2 implementations. Now the first thing, let me just give some idea on what is the basic setup here done. Now already my routers are pre-configured with DMVPN phase 2 configurations, and on all the routers we have configured multi-point GRE implementations, and we are running something phase 2, and we have DMVPN established from each and every point. Let's go and verify the same. If I use show DMVPN, I can see I have reachability from router 1 to router 2, as well as from router 1 to router 3, and as well as router 1 to router 4. Now similar way, if you go and verify the same thing on any one of the spokes, if I use show DMVPN, you can see the tunnel is established between router 1, router 3 to router 1, router 3 to router 2, and router 3 to router 4. So the phase 2 configuration is already done here, so I'm not getting into that configuration here. Now what we want is we want to configure RIP protocol here. Now before we configure RIP, let's configure RIP here. So let's go with the configuration of RIP here. So I'm going to configure RIP version 2 and advertising the WAN interface and advertising the LAN interface here. And almost the same configuration goes in the remaining routers. Only the difference is I need to change the LAN interface. So on the router 3 also the same thing. And on the router 4 as well, we are going to advertise 4-dot network. Now let's verify the configurations. On all the 4 routers we have configured RIP. Now I should see the routes should be coming on the different routers. So already I have a configuration for allowing the multicast traffic, but that's something not really required for RIP, so that is already allowed here. Now on the router 1 I can see the routes coming from the router 2, router 3 and router 4, and if you verify the same on the router 2, so show IP route RIP, now on the router 2 I can see only 1-dot network is coming, whereas the networks belong to router 3 and router 4 are not coming, that is from the other spokes. That's something because of the split horizon rule, we know that. So what we need to do is we need to simply disable the split horizon rule by giving no IP split horizon. Now once we disable the split horizon rule, the spokes can see the routes from the other spokes. Let's go to router 1 and interface tunnel 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to say no IP split horizon. Now once we disable the split horizon rule, now I should see on the router 1, previously I was able to see only 1-dot network, now I should see the remaining routes as well. Let me clear the routing table because RIP works based on periodic updates. So now you can see show IP route RIP, you can see all the routes. So I just cleared everywhere, on all the routers I use clear IP route command. Now let's verify the same on the router 3 as well. I should see the routes coming from the other spokes. Now you can see here, now if you try to trace from the router 2, I'll try to trace to router 4 here, 192.168.4.4. That's something. Now you can see the spokes are able to reach each other directly without any changes. Like in the previous section we discussed about our EHRP protocol. In case of EHRP, the router 2 is going to advertise the 2-dot network to router 1. And the next hop is router 2 here, because the router 1 receives with the next hop of router 2, and when it is sending back to router 3 in EHRP, it will change the next hop to router 1. But in case of RIP, the default behavior is it is not going to change the next hop, it is going to simply send with the same next hop. So which will allow the spokes to have a direct end-to-end communication without going via hub. But in case of EHRP, we need to disable that by using no IP next hop self for EHRP 100. Now the major difference between the phase 1 and phase 2 routing configurations by using RIP protocol is, now in case of phase 1 we have a tunnel established from router 2 to router 1, and we have a tunnel established from router 3 to router 1. So there is no tunnel established between router 2 to router 3 in case of phase 1, so there is no direct communication. But whereas in case of phase 2, we have a direct tunnel established between router 2 to router 3, which allows you to have direct communication from spoke to spoke, and those tunnels are built dynamically. And there is no extra configurations required when it comes to phase 2. We just need to have a phase 2 configurations, and then we need to just ensure that no IP split horizon. We disable the split horizon rule here. If you just want to add additionally, we can allow the multicast traffic for specific host, but in most cases like in RIP it works fine.